Hey guys, today we're going to cover bug out bags. I know this topic's been done on YouTube probably 1,000 times. This is just to give you more ideas if you're new or you're just getting into prepping, as well as an idea if you already have been into prepping for a while and you might see something in my bag that you think, hey, that's a really good idea. And before I tear it all apart and we get started, I want to go into some basic things. I have some basic rules for bug out bags in general. First rule is if it doesn't go in your bag, you don't need it. Okay, you really need to start with just basics. This is not something you're going to be living out of for the next 100 years. This is something to get you through for day, 2 or 3 at the most. The bug out bag that we're actually taking a look at right now over here is what I would refer to as my travel bag. Since we live so close to Las Vegas, we'll often go in for a night to see a show, stay in one of the nicer hotels, and I bring this with me just in case something happens and I have to bug home with it. Now, I always keep supplies in my vehicle, but this stays up in my room with me, and I can strap it on my back and just look like I'm just another European tourist backpacking across the country and stopping in Las Vegas. It doesn't really jump out at you. We have to remember why we're carrying stuff. If you take stuff out of your bug out bag and you ask yourself, why the heck do I have this in here? You probably don't need it in an emergency. Another thing I like to tell people is every ounce counts. If you can find something lighter, smaller, it's worth it. I do carry 1 bottle of water in there, and that's really heavy for, my use, but I also carry a water filter. I have the bottle of water in there because I may want it right away. I may want to grab it, and have a sip of water. I may be evacuating out of a building that's on fire, and I may want to wet a rag down. So that's basically my deal with that. Remember, the food's good, water's good, fire's good, and shelter's good. Anything else is really luxury. Those are your basics you need to survive, okay? One of the things I like to do is make sure you have a first aid kit. Now, it does not have to be a surgical first aid kit. You may not even need a tourniquet or, quick clot, but you do need a good first aid kit. There's going to be times where if you have your bag with you and you injure yourself, that kit's going to come in handy. Having something like that will really come in handy for you. And you want to make sure you have some kind of map or GPS device. I happen to remember I brought this out here and I'd left my GPS sitting on top of my other bug out bag because this isn't my larger bug out bag. This is more of a bug home bag. But I left my GPS sitting on top. So always have a GPS, and remember, satellites may not be working, there may be some kind of interference. Something may be wrong with your local area where they've shut the GPS down. So it's good to have a topo map and a regular map, and I have both of those in this bag here. Always have a backup plan. The only certainty in life is that nothing's certain, so you got to be flexible with your planning. You may put together a bag and you may see something that you like better. Be flexible. If it works better for you, take the other thing out, put the new thing in. And don't get too fancy. It's important you buy quality, but, if you walk into REI and you spend $500 on a sleeping bag and, $300 on a backpack, that ultralight stuff isn't going to do you as much good as a good basic kit put together with some food, water, first aid, supplies, communications. That's another thing I didn't bring out here is my HT, which is also sitting by the GPS. I keep the electronics separately in an EMP sealed box. But you always want to have some way to communicate, so I have that stuff too. But you want to go with quality, but you don't want to buy the frivolous, high-end, ultralight, backpacking and hiking gear. You want stuff that's been proven, stuff you've tested, and also, too, if you put a bag together, use some of the stuff. Try it out. Try it out first. You don't want to be taking a bag out for the first time in the middle of emergencies and reading instruction manuals on how does this thing work, how does this cook stove open, or how does this water filter work. Try out everything. You stick to those rules, you'll probably be pretty good. I'm going to go through this now and just show you some of the basics. I'm not going to tear it all apart, but just give you some ideas on different things you can put in your bag. I'm going to move over this way now. Hopefully you can still hear me as well. First thing on the top of my bag is a set of work gloves. Now the reason I put these in here is because these are great for dealing with broken glass, metal you may have to pick up, broken wood so you don't get splinters, working on your car if you get a flat tire. And again, a bug-out bag isn't just for disaster. It could be your next door neighbor's house is on fire and the fire department's telling you to get out. Well, there's your bag. You grab it and go. I also have my valuables in the safe underneath where I keep my bags. So really all I have to do in an emergency is open up my safe, take all my valuables. As you see, I have a little space in here, toss them in there, and hit the door, and I'm out. So you got gloves. Now I will admit this bag tends to, because I do attend a lot of gun shows, this tends to pick up a lot of one-time things that I bought at gun shows, and this is one of them. These are those Mayday mini ration meals, but these are actually really good. These are, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Let me get behind the camera so I can see. These are 400 calorie apple cinnamon food bars. They actually are really good. They still have the same texture as the older Mayday ration bars, but the taste is there. This was something I picked up at a gun show. I happened to be there and saw it. Now I like to field strip my MREs. I don't keep them whole. And MREs are a good choice for something like this because you're going to want to eat quick and on the go. You may not have time to cook it. So I have in here a lot of the individual packages. I have some Orange Tang in there, some crackers, some Splenda. I know the non-GMO people will kill me for having Splenda in here. You know, just toaster pastry, you know, quick stuff that I can eat while I'm on the run, you know. Let's say I'm in Vegas in a hotel and the building's on fire and my car's in the parking garage. Well, I may have to walk a good distance to get where I'm going. I don't have to heat this stuff up. I can just eat it right away. Similar thing here too. Some more snacks. And these are very light. I know they look bulky, but they're actually very light. They don't add a lot of weight. And you're good to go there. Okay, over here. This is just personal care items, you know, and some bug spray too. But this is just personal care items, a sewing kit, a toothbrush, soap. This thing alone has saved me so many times in hotels. If you're traveling, you get in the hotel, it's 2 in the morning, and there's no soap, and there's no housekeeping service. So, stuff like that. You know, I have hand warmers in there. Little things here and there can help you out. But this is more, I carry this because this is a travel bug-out bag. This is why I carry this stuff, because you never know when you'll need it. In here, I have a bunch of paper towels. Now people think, why would you want paper towels? Well, they come in handy for a lot of stuff. If I'm bleeding, you know, this may be the first thing I'm able to grab. I also have a couple of space blankets, a mini tarp, and a one-time use rain poncho. What if I have to change tire in the rain? Well, there you go. Next thing up, I do have to dig down in here. Baby wipes. Germ-killing baby wipes. These things are great. If you don't have time to stop and take a shower, you know, in an emergency, this can work. Next up, let's get to this after all. Now this is a first aid kit. You probably have seen these in Walmart, but this has been highly doctored by me. So anything that I need is in here already, along with the stuff that came with it. So I don't want to open it up and make a mess, but I have some of my wife's medication in here, my stuff. Anything else I'd need in an emergency, it's all right in here. Along with the bandages and everything else that came with the kit. It's important to remember if you do take daily medication, both my wife and I are lucky and we don't really have any prescriptions to take, but if you do have something like that, that you always remember to put 1 or 2 tablets or whatever you take per day in your kit for how many days you're planning your kit out. It would be really a bummer to escape an emergency and forget your high blood pressure pills or something like that. Okay, next up, this guy right here. Now, I've tried a couple of these. I would not use these on anything I thought was contaminated severely, but some muddy water on the side of the road, sure, these things work great, these little filter straws. And I bought about 4 of these. I bought these in a dollar store. Bought 4 of them, tested 2 of them out, put 2 of them away. One of them's in my other bug-out bag. I do have a full-size water filter. This is good for a quick little emergency. Okay, next up, we have in here, if I can remember which way this pops open, there we go. Just some more Israeli bandages, tape, gauze. This is more of a advanced, you know, I got a blowout kit in here. I have a cat tourniquet on the bottom. If I get really injured and need to take care of myself or someone else, it's there. And don't forget, too, the supplies aren't necessarily always about you taking care of yourself. You may get hurt and there may be a doctor standing right next to you. They may know how to take care of something more than what you are maybe certified in first aid to do. But in a real emergency, if you got your arteries bleeding somewhere, a tourniquet will save your life. Whether you know what you're doing or not, most of the time, if you get it in the right place, a tourniquet will save your life. So it's handy to have. And basically, I have a little individual propane. Now I've been debating whether I want to keep this in here or not, and a little propane stove. Being that I carry 98% MREs, this is my little propane stove in here. I don't want to unfold it because it's annoying to put back together again. It's one of those little lightweight backpacker, you know, one of the things I told you not to buy earlier. Actually, it was cheap enough, so I bought it. I'm debating whether I want to keep this in here. It's nice for a heat source. It's nice for a fire starting source. But I don't know that I want to deal with the weight. This is kind of heavy. This isn't, but these are kind of heavy. So that's something I may address later on. And of course, I've got in here MRE heaters. And if you notice, I vacuum sealed these. These will get ridiculously hot and burn through some stuff if you get them wet. So these are vacuum sealed. And utensils, salt, pepper, some instant coffee, some spiced cider there. Just little comfort items. And of course, field stripped MRE entrees. Chunky breast strips with chunky salsa. Chicken breast strips with chunky salsa. Mmm. I happen to like them. If you don't like MREs, find yourself something that you like, pack it in there. It could be canned food. The only reason I like MREs is because they're quick. If I can't heat that up, it's still going to taste good. Even if I have to eat it while I'm running out a door, it's still going to be edible. Okay, we've gone through here pretty much. What else do I have in here? Oh, I have a firearms cleaning kit. And another 100 rounds of 9mm because I always carry my carry weapon on me. So I have another extra 100 rounds in there. But before I tear all this apart, I'm going to go to the side here real quick. Now over here on the side is some fire starting stuff, a lighter, a striker, and a ferrochronium rod. There's some, what are these again? They're basically like balsa wood all chopped up, and it'll start a fire real easily. I made this out of some Kydex. This is my paracord holder. I tied off at both ends, and I just cut it and made it out of some old Kydex, and got about 50 feet of paracord on here. And of course, for all you nerd folks out there, we've got the Leatherman rebar. And this has come in handy a lot of times, you know, while traveling. I used to carry this every day, and I bought a Leatherman Wave, and I put the rebar in my little kit, because I may not always have that one with me. That way I always have something with me. I got some more paracord, and another little pocket knife. This is just a cheapy little pocket knife, and believe it or not, I've never cut myself on that. It doesn't have a sheath on one side. It's just a clip. Do have some fishing line in there. No, that's not fishing line. I have fishing line in here. This is a pocket saw. This is probably the only thing I have in here that I've never tested, but I figure it's better than nothing if I have to cut something. And my Wave also has a saw blade on it, so I'm not too worried about something like that going on. I'm going to finish up here because I don't want this video to get too long. This is my communications pocket. In here is a Grundig AM/FM shortwave radio. It's one of those little skinny ones. Very nice radio. I got a very good deal on it, otherwise I probably wouldn't have bought it. I also have a homemade antenna. If you put this up and you get an alligator clip, I'm starting to make a mess here. Alright, if you get an alligator clip and you clip this on here and you throw this up in a tree, you got yourself a, I don't know, what, 25-foot long wire antenna. Works very well for shortwave reception in an emergency. I also have, I said, my VX7 HT YASID. But I don't have that to show you right now. Got extra batteries. Extra AA's for either a flashlight or other items in my bag, or the AAA's for that radio there. In front here, I have, now this is stuff I want to get at right away. If there's something going around in the air that I don't want to breathe in, I've got my N95s masks right up front. And I also have portable N95. They're very thin. They're not portable, but very compact N95 masks. Basically, you open these up, put them over, and you're good to go. Now, N95 will not stop poisonous gases, terror attack type weapons of mass destruction, but it will stop debris, stuff you don't want to breathe in the air. I remember, one of the things I remember watching is right after 9/11, you couldn't buy one of those for $50 on the street. Nobody had one. So that's another reason why I like to have that there, so that I always have something protecting me if I'm out and something happens. In here, extra pair of reading glasses. Yeah, I need reading glasses. I know it's embarrassing. Extra hat. See, who says you can't get good stuff at the SHOT Show for free? And my water bottle and my Sawyer water filter. This is the Squeeze water filtration system. I've used this a few times with water that was really nasty. Works great, and I've tested it out. Supposedly this filter is good for quite a bit of water. They make some ridiculous claim on the box, but you know, I'm sure I didn't even put a dent in it by using it twice. And some glow sticks. Now, if you've been wondering what this thing is here, this is a glow stick on-off switch, sort of. This little guy here, you take a glow stick and you put it inside. This unscrews and it goes inside. When the glow stick's inside, you have that line where it glows. If you want to turn the glow stick off, so to speak, you turn it like that and it blocks it. Pretty neat, pretty handy. Clips onto either a clip on your shirt or any kind of antenna, any kind of webbing on your vest, whatever you might be wearing. Very handy little thing, and I found that in an Army surplus store, God, I want to say 10 years ago. But works pretty well. Another neat thing with glow sticks is this little magnet here that holds the glow stick, and you actually screw the end in. And this can be put on your car, it can be put up on a wall. It's a very powerful magnet. And just stick your glow stick in it. And you got a light in a room. So I didn't go into these pockets, but this is just cash. I usually keep anywhere from $50 to $75 in small bills. Another big thing, 9/11, after the terror attacks, nobody had change. People were charging, you know, $5 for a bottle of water if you only had 20. That was too bad. So that's why I'm making sure that I have lots of singles, lots of fives, couple 10s, couple 20s. You know, maybe I think I actually have 150 in there in smaller bills plus a couple of 20s. That's about it. You know, this is my this is really just a get-home kit. It's not a extensive bug-out bag. I forgot him. This is either a flashlight or it pulses SOS. Turn it once, it's a flashlight. Turn it on again, it flashes SOS. Kind of a handy little tool. Something I picked up at SHOT Show last year. Anyway, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to do my larger bug-out bag eventually. It's pretty much just more of what's here to give you an idea of what I got. But what I'd like to do eventually is my car kit and show you what I carry in the car all the time. So just keep an eye out for future videos. I know I can take forever between videos. I get busy. We run a business out of our house, and we're pretty busy, so sometimes I'll go a couple weeks without doing a video. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to click on us and subscribe to us, and tell your friends. Talk to you guys later. Bye.